What's going on, everybody? We're live. My name is Saramelcher, and I am here with Empower Talks. Gonna give our guest a few minutes to hop on. Today, I get to speak with Ms. Juliana Hernandez, the owner of Dez Collective. So we know it's gonna be a good one. So we'll just give her a few minutes to hop on. Instagram is telling the followers that we are live. Here we go. She is on. Hello, hello, hello. Do you know how to join? Sometimes people will take a minute to join. Here we go. Give her a minute to figure it out. It's so delayed on Instagram. There we go. Hi.
Hi,
Yay.
how are you?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited to finally chat. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a good one, guys.
Yes, yes, I'm happy. I'm so happy to sit with you
I
finally.
know. Get to share some of your amazing story. So thank
Vice
people are
versa.
hopping on. It's in the middle of the day, so people come and go as we know, but we're gonna post the replay so you guys will get to listen to all the gems that Juliana's gonna drop. So my name is Sara Melcher. I am the host of Empower Talks. I am an empowerment coach, a Reiki healer, an event curator, and I have created this series to highlight all of the amazing people that I have come across on my journey. And recently, I got to meet Juliana at an event, and I really wanted to hear more of her story, with the goal of someone resonating with her, right? And hearing the nitty gritty, right? We all see the beautiful furniture, we see the beautiful events, right? We see you post your beautiful pictures, but I always want to know, what is your journey? What is your story? Like, how did you get there is really like what gets me going. So I'm super excited to
Yeah.
hop into it. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself for anyone that may not know.
Sure. So thank you again, Sarah, for having me. It's such an honor to sit with you. I know we met a couple years ago at one of
Yeah.
Aisha's ladies' night, ladies and cocktails, I think it was back then. So pleasure to see your growth and your success
Thank you.
throughout the years that I've met you. For those who don't know me, my name is Juliana Hernandez. I am the founder and owner, CEO of I almost forgot my name. Dez Collective. Oh my God. I started off as a Dez events when I first started my journey as an entrepreneur back, oh my gosh, in like 2014. I really started as like a hobby. It wasn't really until like 2018, 2019 that I turned it into a full business.
Mm.
And that's when I started to develop into Dez Collective, which I went from being a planning and design company now to just a supplier for event furniture rentals to all the planners and designers and everyone outside of that. So my journey through that has, at the beginning, of course, very hard.
Mm.
Um, a lot of stress. I mean, stress never goes away, right? But the journey has been a roller coaster and it has been a fulfilling one
Mm.
at the end of the day. So I want to say that I have been very blessed to have a lot of support. And when I started, I did not know, I didn't have a business plan. I didn't have great guidance or actually any real guidance at all, other than, you know, growing up with my mom that was a full entrepreneur.
Oh,
So
nice.
like her, like seeing her, watching her, learning from her without even knowing it,
Mm.
helped me
Yeah.
a lot. So yes.
Yeah. So you said you started off as a hobby. Like, what did that look like? It being a hobby, you just like doing things for friends?
Yeah. So when I started off as a hobby, at that time I was working as a medical assistant in a dermatology office. So um, when I first started in the event industry, before that, I was already a young mom. I had my son, he is now 21 years old. I had him at 17, and then
Mhm.
2 months later, I turned 18.
Mm-hmm.
So, help of my mom and my sisters is who helped me kind of like raise him. And so basically, throughout that, we kind of like raised each other.
Yep, 100%.
Um, yeah, so that was very tough, but it was also very smooth at the same time, again, because of my support. Back then, like I said, I was a medical assistant, so my dream was more of becoming a nurse and all of that at that time. To then finally, when I got to that peak of the rookie career, when I started as a hobby, I was just kind of bored in what I was doing.
Yep.
But I always knew that I loved parties, I loved networking, and just, well, now I know it's networking, but before I didn't know it was networking.
Right.
Just being social with people, with friends, etc. And just sharing memories. I always
Yeah.
knew that I loved sharing
Mhm.
memories with people, so being around and helping people throw their events, like kind of like put a fire in me. And
Yeah.
so I was like, my sister-in-law was having her baby shower. My friends were having their baby showers and their 30th birthdays and all of that. And I was like, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. So I
Yeah.
did like everyone's parties, everyone's kid's first birthday and all of that. Um, and they were very good
Yeah.
for back then.
You discovered your
Um,
purpose. You discovered
yeah,
your purpose by accident.
by complete
Yeah.
accident. Like if you asked me way back then what I was gonna be, I would have told you a nurse
Hmm.
from the beginning, a registered nurse from the beginning. So
Right.
being here today as a successful business owner, um, is a complete shock, would have been a complete shock to me, like
Yeah.
way back then.
Right. Do you feel like being a young mom created more drive for you?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, when you're a young mom, at least for me, I felt that when I was a young mom, my thing was, where is the security?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Again, with my son, I ended up being a single mom.
Yep.
Um, Eventually, sorry, this thing keeps falling off.
Mhm.
I ended up at some point being a single mom at that young age with my son. And it wasn't until he was about 3 years old, going on to four, that then I met my husband today, and then later on had like other kids with him. But I was a single mom for a couple years, again, just with the full support of like my
Yep.
family, and my close friends at that time. But it was always about, where's the security to provide for my son, and that's
Hmm.
where, the becoming a nurse came in, because that
Yep.
was one of the most secure jobs you could ever get.
I know. I know exactly what you mean. I resonate
Especially
with
as a
that so much.
female.
Yeah. When you spoke about that at the Babes in Business Boston, I was just talking to Kim Douglas, and we are saying that doesn't really roll off the tongue, but we still love it, right? When
Yeah.
I heard you speak about that, that was like what clicked for me, where I was like, I need to talk to her. I need to meet her again, like I reconnect with you, obviously.
Mhm.
I need
Mhm.
to interview her because that's how my story started. Being a young mom, I was a little older, 19 years old. I had my son right before my 20th birthday, and it was always the drive for me. I was a medical assistant, so when I heard you were a medical assistant, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so seen, because for us back then, in
Doesn't
early
that
two,
like give you goosebumps?
yeah,
Like, oh my God, somebody went through the same
same
thing that like I
thing,
went through. We never think that someone has like such a close story to us, but
yeah,
we are all human. We tend to
right,
forget that sometimes. Like, we're
yeah,
human, we're women, like
yeah,
we get pregnant, we have babies, we want a
yeah,
lot of the same things, you know what
yeah,
I mean? When it comes to, we're not, I feel like we're all different, but we're also not very different at the same
right,
time. We all have a lot of comparison things that we
mhm,
both can love. And I think that's great that we can not compare, but kind of like resonate, and that it actually reaches
yeah,
us and empowers and just lifts the other person up. Because for you, to hear my story, and for me to hear like your story as well, it's like, what? Okay, let's talk about
mhm,
it. Like, how was your thing? Like, that's me. I'm kind of like, all right, how can you help me? How can I
yeah,
help you? And
exactly.
let's get the story going. Like, what did you learn from it?
Exactly. That's my thing too. What did you learn from it, and how did you get from there to here, right? Because so many people that have experienced what we experienced, they may have, yeah, taken the nursing job and then there's a plane going over. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
The plane passing by my room. You know, you might get there and think, okay, I made it. I'm done. Right. But there's two types of people, right? There's the one that's like, okay, I'm done. I made it. And then there's the other one that's like, but there's more. And there's
Hmm.
more and there's more and I know I'm capable of more, right? And I feel like that's we can also kind of resonate with that, like where we wanted to create something, we started it, people liked it, it's
Yep.
successful, and we didn't like we create more and more from it. So I love that. I love that you were able to start from, you know, the event planning, but then grow into like Dez Collective. Everyone knows Dez Collective now. You see the truck, oh shit, you know what's popping because Dez Collective's truck is here. Like it's on and popping, you know? Like you
Thank
created
you.
such a name for yourself and your team. And I just think that's so freaking powerful. And that's why I wanted, you know, people to have a chance to hear more about who you are, right? What are your values? What are your beliefs? When I asked you what you want to talk about, you shared about your team and networking, connecting. So I really wanted to ask you, like, what is important to you when building your team? Because I think you shared that you have like 12 people that you work with, right,
Hmm.
or more, or something like that. So like that resonated with me too, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, okay, you must be an amazing leader to not only run a successful business, but you have people that want to follow you and stick with you, right? So I'm curious, like, what is it that's important to you when building that team and keeping it going?
A lot. So I didn't always start with the team, but you end up with the team because of it's all about what you give to them versus what they can give to you, and that has always been something that I've always asked myself, not just with my team, but just with my friendships, with my
Yeah,
family, and everyone in
yeah,
general. Like it's never about like, okay, what can you help me with, but also like, what can I help you with, even like two times more than what you're giving to me, because I want to make sure that we're in the same circle, we're around each other, like like let me help you, but I gotta like vice versa, basically.
yeah.
For my team, um, I always look at what are their goals?
Mm-hmm.
What do they want to do? Like what do they believe
Yeah,
in?
yeah.
And kind of like bring some of those things around them. So like some of the times, we may have guys that, we'll have guys and I'll say, oh, no, let's do it this way. He's like, no, like this is what's gonna work better. Like they tell me and I tell them. So like team
Yeah, you work
efforts, you know what I
together.
mean?
Hmm.
Sometimes I can be a bit strict and say, no, 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 I don't want to hear it. Just give me that. That's what I want. And they're like,
Yeah,
okay, we're gonna give it to you, but then you're gonna see that we were right. And it's like I value that.
yeah,
I value the fact that you can tell me like that I'm wrong when I'm wrong,
yeah,
and vice versa. I value that we can speak to one another
yeah.
in the same energy and not like over talk or just think that one is better than the other. Um, I value that they have families that also depend on them.
Mm-hmm.
So like my thing is I'm not just a leader here to big boss and everybody has to do what I say because I'm the boss here. I don't even like them to call me a boss. I'm like, we're all bosses here because
Yeah.
honestly, like, I have built this brand, but I could never have built this brand without you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had several team members like come in when I started, and I saw that she hopped on. I don't know if she's still here, but Geneva, say hi if you're on here. Um, when I started, it was and during the planning and design stages, it was an all women team. I had my cousin's girlfriend. I have um, my sister-in-law, her best friend, there she goes. Hi, G.
Hi, Geneva.
She was definitely like hands down. We were a all women team. So like the walls that you see the guys lifting now, like it was us. We wouldn't even want guys
Mm-hmm.
to touch the walls. Like you don't know what you're doing, you leave it, please, because you're gonna mess it up.
Yep.
Um, so like building that team from going from all women team to now getting so successful to the point that we're like, all right, we need guys to actually do this because now us
Yeah.
women, we have to bring in continue bringing the clientele and doing all of
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
Um, so I feel like my team brings a lot of value to me. And I can go home happy knowing that I'm providing them a job for them to take care of their families. And I'm happy that we can, we work as family members here in my business. We all value one another when someone has something to say, because, not every job is perfect. So I don't want to make it out there like if we're perfect, we do have things that happen, but that does not go without a day of addressing whatever happens. It doesn't, something happens to somebody else, we're ready to say, hey, how can we help you? How
Yeah.
can we help you understand it better?
Yeah.
Let me give you guidance in this. And what can we plan for the future, as far as like, what does your future look like with Des, or what does your future look like somewhere else, if that is something that are looking for.
Yeah, that's amazing. So it's very collaborative, right? Working together. I love that.
Yeah.
That gave me goosebumps the whole thing, just hearing you. And I know people are loving it because they're commenting there. It's so amazing to hear someone like you, that you are an empowered leader and collaborative and working with people, to help them build themselves up as well. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about how does someone running such a successful business balance it all, like being a wife, being a mom, being the face of Dez Collective. I know you're at all these events, some events you're just working and some you're showing up to, right? You're speaking now, sharing more of your story. So how do we balance it?
um for me,
Just do it, right?
man, just do it for sure. I didn't want to say that, but you took it out. There's honestly, like, I never want to give um false insight into what you see for what I'm doing.
Right.
It legit looks pretty on Instagram. It looks beautiful. It looks like I'm a star, and I love that it looks that way. But let me tell you, behind the scenes, I am screaming, crying, yelling, like
Hmm.
going bananas, like
Yeah.
literally like taking a second to like, all right, please don't talk to me right now. Like, I try to come into my office at least 30 minutes before everybody gets here, just to have like some
Hmm.
purity for myself, just for my
Yeah.
head, because I like to think that I'm very strong-minded. I talk to myself a lot in the morning, at night, before I go to bed, all of that, just to kind of like remind myself of everything that's going on, as bad
Yeah.
as it may seem sometimes. It's always pretty. So yes, social media, all of that stuff, we want everything to look pretty. Because I am having fun. I am having a good time. I
Yeah.
am putting out beautiful furniture and going to beautiful events and being around beautiful people, all that. But behind the scenes, I try to, again, my 30 minutes, maybe my first sip of coffee,
Mhm.
a little talk like this that can just kind of like bring me back. Like,
Yeah.
these are the things that kind of like just help me move forward.
Yeah.
Getting messages to say, hey, you're so good. I love it. Like, I love
Yeah.
seeing you. I love hearing your story. I was very hesitant to start saying my story, not
Mm.
because not because I felt like it wasn't worthy. I didn't think people would be interested.
Interesting.
And then I also just didn't want to like put my private life
Right.
out there. And it's like, so it's a lot. So as soon as I started listening to myself, my business coach, and just kind of like realizing the feedback that I was getting from when I started to like little by little say my story, I was like, okay, like how we were saying at the beginning, people can really resonate to you. You have no
Yeah.
idea until you open your mouth and you actually start talking.
Yeah.
We a lot of the times we don't. I did a post the other day. I just, again, just randomly woke up and I was like, yo, like F this. Like, the people are so beautiful. Like, there's so many things to celebrate
Mm.
when other people are trying to put you down.
Mm.
I've had people around, like, as much as people may praise me, there's also people that are like, oh, she thinks da 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 da. And I'm like, are you doing it?
Mhm. You
Or
tell them
like,
I am da 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 da. Okay.
and I'm like, honestly, like, to each his own, because
Hmm.
if if I'm doing something and you are taking the time to just talk about me in a negative way when it has nothing to do with you, I feel like you have too much time on your hands. You need to use that for something else.
Yep.
If you ask my team members, I'm always like, the minute I'm like, all right, what are we doing today? like what's on the agenda, like what I don't like wasting time. I feel like, and I think that's a good and a bad thing because sometimes I feel like I need to slow down and just kind of say like, all right, we're not necessarily wasting time. We're just kind of like being relaxed a little bit, and
Yeah,
it's
just
okay to be relaxed a little bit. And
yeah.
I'm always like, pressure, pressure, pressure. So yeah, I feel like we all need to just kind of like check on ourselves,
Mhm.
have a, I'm sure you'll bring this up, but again, one of the things I did say to you, one of the biggest um, important things for us to have as entrepreneurs is our community,
Yes.
our social, our group, um, our
Yep.
sisters, like not just our blood sisters, but like who is your who's your circle,
Yep.
because that matters. If your circle is there for you, I'm on live and they're coming on live to support me. Like, who are the
Mhm.
people that are behind you? Who are your supporters? Tisha, my hairstylist, hey girl. Rose, Tia has been, I've known Tia for so long. Tia, I love you. Her daughter and my daughter have been friends since middle school. My daughter's 17 years old.
Mm.
So like, just again, those type of people that they see you, they see what you're doing, they're coming around, they're supporting you. Like, those are the people that you need in your life, because
Mm.
those are the ones that are gonna help you kind of like get up and keep going.
Yep.
Mendez, Anita, you can come here. Let me introduce you. Anita is my assistant.
Oh,
And
nice.
Anita is my, turn that off because I think
Oh, you on both?
this is Anita.
Hi.
And this is my sister Gaudi.
Hi. Hi, team.
This is my team. They're all
I
like, "Can we
love
go?
it.
Can we
Oh
go?"
my goodness. I'm like tearing up just from feeling and seeing the love. I'm so happy that they joined
So
it.
this is us every day,
Mm.
and I want to say like, Anita comes from her and DJ Valentina are best friends, and
Oh,
so she's
cool.
worked for so long with DJ Valentina, and the way that I was able to get Anita on there is, let's go, Gaudi. This is all my family. Jessica has been a dear friend of mine since
Mm.
childhood. RC, that's my cousin. So like, this is what I mean. Like, just having people show up to what you're doing and supporting you,
It's huge.
like that is kind of like, it's super huge. It's super supportive,
Mm.
and it's honestly what keeps me going. And to try to say, going back to your question, like to find a balance. I honestly don't really have a balance. I just kind of like take it day by
Yeah.
day. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old that literally blow my head away every single day.
You have a 6 and 3 year
I
old?
have a
Oh, I can't even
6 and a 3 year
imagine.
old, and then 17 and 21. So my 17-year-old goes to junior prom
Oh,
tomorrow.
that's gonna
Um,
be so beautiful.
so beautiful. Yes, can't wait. But yeah, on the balance part, I just honestly take it day by day, try to
Mm.
have again the supportive team that I
Mhm.
have, that help me get by. And just kind of like pray that we continue to get better. I continue
Mhm.
to like in my eyes see what the future is,
Mhm.
believe in the future that I have, believe in the future that my
Yeah.
team can have, for my family and all of that, and that honestly like keeps me balanced.
Mhm.
But I want to say true, like I was saying earlier with Anita, she came as a recommendation from DJ Valentina.
Mhm.
And she and DJ Valentina, as I said, they're best friends. And so it was kind of hard for Valentina to kind of like give me
Yeah,
Anita, because
I was
she
gonna say
also
that must have
need
been.
her. It was tough, but again, going back to your circle, Valentina has now been a part of my circle for a while now,
Mm.
and so has Anita became that. She literally trusted and gave Anita to me because she knew that Anita needed and wanted to work in the field, in the side of the field, because we're both in events, but in the side of the field of what we have going on. Anita wanted a bigger position, and so she was able to help her get that. And these are the type of people that we need. She wasn't afraid to give her friend up a little bit,
Yeah,
share her friend,
yeah,
and then she wanted to see more for her. So like
hmm
they help with
that's
balance,
huge.
like our friends help with balance.
Yep.
Our circle help with balance. So this is what we need.
Exactly. Wow. That was beautiful. That's incredible. You said so many things there. So
I know, I'm
I'm gonna,
sorry. I went like
no, I love it. No, it's
it
beautiful.
just it involves so much. Balance isn't just, I
Yeah.
feel like people think like, oh, you need a spa day or go do your nails or need to do your
No, it's the day
lashes.
to
Like,
day. It's the day to day of what you're doing, getting up to manage your day. Like you said, who's in your circle, who's on your side, who's helping you manage the day, who's holding you accountable. I think
right,
that's really like what, and my calendar, of course. Like even you like send a calendar invite, right? My Google Calendar. Like I was just telling my client earlier, I'm like, yo, my shower's on my calendar. My cooking, like I have to cook 12:30 to 1 because that's when I have time. So it's like really yeah, I really agree that it's the day to day, and I love thank you so much for showing up so authentically and raw, because I think
it's the
that's
only way
incredible,
I know.
showing people who you are, like because like I said, like I love highlighting entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, because people see the glitz and glam of social media, or like you show up beautifully to an event, but like they don't really understand that like you're human too, you're doing these things too,
Yeah,
you're a mom, you're a wife, you're doing all the human things too alongside building this beautiful business. So I think that's always
thank
important for
you,
people to remember. you know there's
thank
so much
you,
that goes into it.
thank you,
Of course, you're welcome, you're so beautiful.
thank you. You too.
Right, no one sees behind the scenes, Elle says. So also like I wanted to, it's almost 12:30, but I just wanted to touch on like, so I know that you give opportunity to others, right? Like you said, like you build your team, but like you also sponsor a lot and you help the community a lot. I wanted to share a little bit about like how did you decide to do that within your business? Obviously you got your business to a place where you were able to do that, right? And then like what really drove you to start doing that, to start helping out other people like that are hosting events and stuff like that?
Yeah, so a lot of when I started, a lot of people that I was asking for help were not willing to give me the help.
Mm, so
I didn't have
real.
very cold.
So real.
Um, and so yeah, that doesn't really get spoken about a lot either.
Right.
It's like it's not in a negative thing, but it's just that is real. That people sometimes fear you. I don't like to fear people that do the same thing as me
Yeah.
because I know that deeper in there's much more gain in collaborating than just saying like, oh,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna use you. I'm not gonna refer you because you'll take my client, they'll like you, and then they won't
Yeah.
use me again. Like, that's not the mentality to have. A millionaire's mentality is not about what the next person is doing, it's about what is their next
Yeah.
move. Um, it's never about like who is going up and watching the other person versus not watching and reflecting on yourself.
Mm,
So, me being able to, and honestly, some of the times I'm not able to, but I
mm,
do it because I want to.
mm,
Um,
mm.
my team will tell me, "Oh, there's another sponsorship," and I'm like, "Yep, but you know what? We're gonna meet people, and you guys are gonna do the work, and I'm gonna do the work, and this is
Mm.
how it's gonna happen, and this is how it's gonna go, and this is what's gonna be the outcome of it."
Yeah.
And best believe it happens every single time.
Oh,
Um, we don't always think that people will want our help, or obviously we can't help everyone, but anyone that I can help, especially a women-owned business,
mm-hmm.
um, an entrepreneur, because I didn't get the help myself, I'm always willing to do that.
Yeah.
Um, if I can do it, I'll do it 10 times more. And again,
Mm-hmm.
just like I said, even at times when I can't do it, I still do it
Yeah.
regardless if I can or not, because I know
Mhm.
that I don't know how much that person needs help or doesn't need help.
Yeah.
And then maybe having this extra furniture at their event or having me come and speak may help them. And
Mhm.
honestly, the next time that you have somebody else on there, they may say, "Oh, bring Juliana back on and let's
Yeah.
do a three, live and things like that." Like you never know, you might get an event, you might get something, you never know what you can get.
Mhm.
You never know what you can give to the person, and
Yeah.
then in return, something, whether it's a year from now, 5 years from now, you never know. Like something always gives. So just give good so that you can receive the good.
Exactly. Whew, you Exactly. That's something that I really believe in too, is like you may not get the return right away, but even for myself, when people think of Reiki healing or spiritual coaching or empowerment speaker, like I'm gonna come up whether it's 6 months or a year from now, and it has always happened like that in my business. So I really appreciate you sharing that. Like you may not get the return right away, but you know that it's coming back. And
Yeah,
when people know, people see your like I said, when they see your logo, they already know, wow, it's gonna be incredible, right? When they see
right.
the furniture, they know, oh shit, like I can't wait till I can pay her, right? Because it means like I can't wait till I can afford her for my event. You know what I mean? I know I
And
thought that
I
a million times.
and I've honestly, like, there's been a strategy behind that name, behind getting there, behind, just
Hmm.
kind of like getting to the level of like, okay, if you see Dez at this event, this is, what you're gonna get. There have been people that have called me and said, "This is your furniture, right?" without my name being anywhere at the event. So it's like your presence is known even if you're
Hmm.
not there.
Yep.
And that has been my strategy from day one.
Yep.
I want people to see me even without seeing the name, without seeing me physically
Yeah.
there, without seeing my team, like them just kind of feeling and knowing
Yep.
like that is this brand. This is this
Yeah.
brand. This is what this brand looks
Yep.
like. Once you do that, it's like you're gonna work your ass off until you no longer have to introduce yourself.
Amen,
Like
girl.
that's
Woo! I just got chills for real. And that's something really important for people that, are maybe they're still starting and building and they do maybe compare themselves to others. It's important for people to understand like you are not going to do things the same way as someone else, right? Like, for example, I'm hosting this event next Thursday. Me and my girl, Ronica, we're both coaches. And yesterday we said it maybe 4 times on our call, like, wow, I never would have thought of it the way you think of it. You know what I mean? And
mm-hmm.
we're able to collaborate that way and work so well together because we think of things totally differently,
Which
even though
is
we've both been coaching for years, right? So even when
right,
you go and design an event, you're going to think about it differently than the next person. You know what I mean? And you create your brand, like you said, your staple furniture and like your design, and like people start to recognize like that's you. And I think that's important for people to remember, like everyone is unique and has their own way of thinking and designing and putting things together. And that's really important to remember, like as you're going through, like for those out there that are building their brand, or they're in on their journey of entrepreneurship or whatever it may be. Maybe just getting out there on social media and you want to do things the way someone else is doing it. Don't do it how they do it. Do it how you do it.
right,
That's
right.
so
It
important.
could be the same colors, but you still have a different aspect of like what it is. And it just again goes back to like what I was saying. It does not matter if you two are doing the same thing. There is room. There is more than enough room
Mhm.
that you could ever
Yep.
imagine. What some people need to realize is that they can't just stay in that same perimeter. You got to
Mhm.
go outside of that, and that's when the networking happens. That's when the socials happens. That's
Yep.
when the reaching out to different people.
Yep.
That's when you let go of like, I'm very much an introvert. I want to be in my bed all day, all the time.
Yo, same.
I want to watch. I used to love watching Lifetime, eating ice cream and just chilling. But going to these networking events and taking the time to just be very social and check up on other people,
Yep.
saying
Yep.
hi, and obviously, like, everybody needs to be friendly. Like I told my one of my friends some year, like, you're very much a lover girl. I'm very much a lover girl. Like,
Mhm.
if you're a girl, especially if you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're a
Yep.
mom, especially if I see that you're doing your business,
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna love on you. I'm gonna support you, whatever
Yep.
you need, regardless of what money you give me. It does not matter. I don't think about money as, you need to pay me or I'm not gonna help you. Like, there's
Right.
a lot of different things that
Mhm.
go into what can you do for me and what can the other person,
Right.
um
Exactly.
what can
Especially.
I do for you? I mean,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. No, that's such a powerful point there. Thank you for sharing that. This is amazing. You spit so many nuggets, so much
Mariela,
fire.
Ellie, there's so many people on here that we just kind of like done so much work together. Ellie just got married last weekend.
Yep.
Honored to have attended her wedding. Naomi, hey girl. There's so many people on here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting Sarah.
Love it.
Um, I'm happy. Thank you. I appreciate like the recognition just from you in general. Like, being able to hear and see that when I speak, when you see my truck, like it all kind of like makes you feel warm inside. To see another woman do
Yeah.
it, to see another mom do it, to there's a very low percentage, and I'm never accurate on the percentage, but from my business coach, yeah, I think it was like an 8% of women that actually get past the first 5 years, and then not even just that, but even make it to like building an actual like $1 million business.
Mhm.
And what do you do to continue to build it from there to sustainability at that point,
Yeah.
and not just about like all about you, but like what are you taking from it to build, to help build others.
Yeah.
Like there's so many future things that I want to do. I want to adopt kids. Like I want to help so many people. I want to help like
Yeah.
other entrepreneurs. I want to eventually build a nonprofit and build a grants for me to give to other entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that I don't even, my head just goes like this when I think about all
I
the
love
things that I want to do and
it.
input to help other people.
Yeah.
And I know that they're not all going to happen at once, and maybe all of them may not happen, but I know that um, as long as I put it out there and I work on some of them, at least
Yeah.
something will happen.
Exactly. Exactly. You already have the intention and the vision, and now it's just like making the plan right to actually execute it. I think that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that because I was actually going to ask, like, what are some of your visions for the future? So that's
Yeah,
that you just
there's so many visions. I want to open like so many things. Like there's so many. One of the biggest things that I want to do as a future business outside of Dez is Dez at home. My passion for Dez Collective as a rental company and the way that I can design comes from my passion from interior design, from my
mm,
home, from my mom. So one of my biggest goals is to start a home interior store
mm,
and brands out of Dez at home, and hopefully that can come within the next couple of years. Gia, Josh, come here. I want to introduce you to my daughter and my husband really quick.
yay!
This is the one that's
Hi.
going 17. She's going to prom
Oh
tomorrow, so
my
she's
gosh,
running away
seven.
to get
My
her
son is
lashes
turning
done.
7.
And this is
Hi.
Josh, my husband. So having the
Hi.
3-year-old and the 6-year-old, that's the help and the support that we talk about all the time.
Shout out to supportive partners. Um, I know it's 12:40 now, but like let's just talk about that for a second. So I know for myself, being an entrepreneur, I'm also a nurse and a mom. Having a supportive partner that really sees you, believes in you, and holds space for you, and like it like takes care of the kids, so help support like the business, and like then like also like be your person at night when it's time to go home and go to bed, like that makes such a difference. I'm not gonna
It
lie,
makes
like
such a
because I was
huge
I also
difference.
was a single mom for many years, and like to now have a partner that I'm like, where have you been all these years? You know what I mean? It makes such a difference. Um, and maybe you don't have the people out there listening, maybe you don't have that supportive partner yet, but who else do you have? Like you said, for it was your mom and your sister, right? And now you have a supportive husband. So it's like really honoring and catering to those people too, loving on those people that are supporting you because it makes such a difference in how we show up.
Hmm. So, even if you don't have a husband or a partner that has support you, like you said too, and we spoke about earlier, your supportive circle, your supportive team,
Mm-hmm.
like they're there for you. They're the ones that are like going to help when you need them. I don't have anything. Sorry. Like try to talk to me. Um, but having a so sorry.
I love it.
Um, Having a supportive partner from the beginning has helped tremendously. Not
Mhm.
only in just like the family way, but also just investing into the business as well. It has helped us grow.
Yeah,
That's one of the biggest things. Like funding is not always there. I didn't
yeah,
start with funding. I started with like zero
yep,
dollars and just being able to like every penny that I made right back into the business. And so
yeah.
at that time when we started, I wasn't making any money. So he basically became the full caretaker of every single responsibility when it came
Hmm.
to food, electricity, mortgage, like car, all of that.
Yeah,
Um, that is like one of the biggest blessings that anybody can have, whether
Hmm.
a woman or a male, because it can be
Yeah,
the other way around too. So
exactly.
being able to have that helped me move forward a lot faster
Yeah.
than it would have been me doing it solo. So it makes a huge difference.
Hmm.
And while having your support circle, whether it's just your friends, sometimes they can also try to do the same and help you with funds and all of that. But even just being able to give you strong words
Yeah.
and guidance. Um, I know that when I was growing up, my mom didn't, I didn't see that around my mom. You know what I mean? My mom had us, we're four sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And while we had a very good social life and all of that, my mom did have her sisters and her brother, her one sister, sorry, not sisters, her sister and her brothers who were her supportive group. And she had a couple friends, but yeah, those were the people that helped her. So it really pretty much always goes back to your supportive team.
Right. Who do you have? And like Jessica said, partnership and communication, because I think sometimes we're also afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
So it's really important. Like if something really is means a lot to you, like that vision that you really just believe in so deeply, don't be afraid to ask for help. You never know who's going to be willing to support you,
Hmm.
and and trust you, right? That like, oh yeah, I'll help you do this, and I know that you got me later. Like building that trust with people
Yeah.
as well. So I guess the circle that you trust, right? Because
Yeah.
there are people that come and go, right? But like that strong cipher there that
Yeah.
supports you and
And
trusts you.
yeah, your circle isn't like 15, 20
Right,
people. That's not what I'm talking about.
right,
Your circle's like three, four, like maybe five, but it's never a crazy
right.
amount. Like
The
it's always
strong.
quality over the quantity on everything when it comes
Yep,
to friendship, when it comes to statuses, when it comes to anything, when it comes to
yep,
anything, even
yep,
money. Like you can be a trillionaire and have all the money in the world, and if you don't know, if you don't have a supportive circle, you're just gonna be depressed and miserable. If you don't
yep.
know how to handle it, you're just gonna go back to where you first started. So you don't have any
Mm-hmm.
guidance, and you're not putting yourself to get that guidance. Like
Yep,
how do you keep it?
yep,
How do you keep it growing?
yep. And one last question. At what point in your journey did you said you mentioned that you have a business coach. Like at what point in your journey did you get a business coach? Like when did you start getting that kind of guidance for the people that are listening?
Um, I didn't get it earlier because I couldn't afford it.
Right. No, I hear you. Yep.
But you should honestly, like, I just got my business coach last year and
Mm-hmm.
it was very, very much long overdue. She was a huge help.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, I also had, again, my support group helping me with business advice and their experiences and telling me, like, hey, this grant is out. My
Mm-hmm.
girl, Cece, who is the owner of Little Celebration
Oh
Rentals for kids,
yeah.
event furniture rentals.
Yep.
Um, she is also on Pearl Street
Yeah.
Nutrition, which is like a
Yep.
smoothie spot here in Stoughton as well. Like she helped me a lot when it came to like the COVID time and just kind of like, hey, did you know that you need workers' comp? I was like, what? What's workers' comp? So it's like once you started to get big and like work with certain people, work at venues, because at that time I was still growing. I wasn't working at venues. I wasn't, they weren't, you didn't need a COI and like all those
Yep.
things. So I, slowly learned about all of that.
Yep.
Um, and she was a huge help to have that. She was kind of like my side business coach.
Nice.
And but
Awesome.
vice versa, right? So like any questions that we had or like for that she had for me, like I would tell her like, hey, this is out,
Mm-hmm.
or like, hey, you should do this for your like in design wise. So like
Yep.
we helped each other out. So again, it's always like, what can you give to each other versus what can you take from someone? But I strongly suggest that everyone gets a business. If you don't get a business coach, you don't know what you're doing,
Right.
truthfully, because
I hear
every
you.
business coaches need business
Yep.
coaches. Everyone needs a business coach. Everybody needs a mentor. Everybody needs a support group. Everyone needs someone to help them. Everybody needs a team. Even if you work on your own, you just have an admin that helps you, does the schedule, like
Yep.
little things, sending
Yep.
invoices. Like it's just all the little things. There's so much that goes behind. building a strong, successful
Yeah.
business that I'm not gonna sit here and say like I did everything right. I started
Yeah.
scrappy. I started scrappy from the beginning. It was kind of like, I don't have any money. This is what I want to do. I just
Yeah.
started. Here, let me throw you a party. And little by little, with guidance, support group, um, and being able to have money eventually to pay a business coach,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, that was able to teach me other things that even my friends were teaching me, but also on like other things on top of that as well.
Yeah.
Because like you were saying earlier, you are collaborating with another business coach, but you guys
Mhm.
have doing the same thing, but you guys have two completely different ideas in
Yeah.
the way of what you're doing it. So it's like, oh shoot, like that's a good way to do it too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like you're just learning, just learning.
Yeah.
You gotta pay to learn at one
I
point. If
know.
you don't want to stay stagnant in the same
Exactly.
place, if you look at your future and you think like that you want to move up, you want to keep climbing up, you have to learn from someone who's bigger
Yeah.
than you. And you have to have people around you that are smarter than you, not
Mhm.
people that are just gonna be your yes. We don't
That
want yes people around.
part. Hold me
I don't want yes
accountable.
people
Hold me
around.
accountable.
Hold me accountable for every single thing. If you think
Yeah.
I did something that was like that was really off and you should not have done that. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like what can I do different?
Exactly.
Like
Yeah. I
yeah,
know the
but
same thing with my clients. Like they get on the call with me and they think I'm gonna be like, you know, I don't know. I don't know the specific example right now, but I'm always like, okay, that happened to you, but how do we do something differently now? Right, right. This is the accountability. So I think that's really, really important. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah,
You shared so many
super.
nuggets. I can't wait for people to re-listen and catch it all.
Me too. I'm gonna re-listen and laugh the whole time.
I know. I love like we saw you in action. People trying to talk to you and stuff as we're doing this. It's
I know.
beautiful.
Sorry, this is work life over
I
here.
love it. No, that's what we're here for, and that's why we are here, right? We wanted to see the real Juliana. So I'm so grateful that you were able to make time in your busy schedule. I'm glad that you were able to come on, and like I said, thank you so much for showing up raw and authentically you. And we got to meet some of your team members and everyone has like that has hopped on. We thank you so much for coming on to support. Like I said, I'll repost the replay and I'll be posting snippets after my event because I'm heavy in event planning. I'm behind on snippets, but I'll be posting them, I promise, so that people can catch your nuggets. Do you have any last words?
Oh man. Um, Listen, I would say again, I'm very big on women
Mm,
moving forward with their beliefs. I'm very big on having your support circle and seeking advice
mhm,
not from
yeah,
just your support circle, but those who are bigger and higher than you.
yeah,
Don't take offense to anyone. Like be allow constructive
mm,
criticism because that
mhm,
is what helps build yourself.
yeah,
Be very reflective to the like very real. Like reality is reality.
yeah,
We all want all these big things, but like how do we get those? How do we really get those? One thing that I continue to want in my life is I want to do like investment homes. So
mm,
if I don't fix my financial look, that's not gonna happen, right? So
right,
reality is key. Listen to yourself, trust on yourself, believe and love on
mhm,
yourself because nobody can do it better than what how you can do it yourself. But
uh,
having those around you and having people like you that do give us the
mm,
recognition to come out and be
yeah,
seen and be heard,
yeah,
that alone is powerful. So I thank you for that
yeah,
and thank you for, putting me out there and giving me so much love and for everyone again that has joined. I I get like my heart gets warm all the time when I feel like someone is loving on me other
we're
than
lover
like
girls.
just be yes, be the lover girl that the other person needs
Mm,
because we are all going through
mhm.
shit.
And you don't know
And
who
there's so
doesn't
much
have that,
more.
right?
Exactly. Exactly. So just be nice, be sweet. If you're not sweet, I
Mhm.
don't want you around.
Right, be kind.
Um, yeah, again, like you said, we don't know what everybody's going through.
Mm,
There's deaths happening amongst us. There's failed relationships, there's
mhm,
depression, there's so many things that are going on that can kill people really quick. So we're
mhm,
talking to someone today and then the next day we wake up and we hear that they've committed suicide or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Though all those things are very real.
Yeah.
And I'll say that, while I'm not necessarily depressed right now, there have been moments that I've felt depressed, even at high peak
Mm-hmm.
success in my career.
Oh,
So it's just a matter of, like, again, making sure you love on yourself and having that supportive group around you that helps you.
yeah, definitely. Whew.
We all go through stuff,
Okay, I'm
so
gonna go
let's stay
cry
warm.
now. I'm gonna go cry now. Thanks. But this was so beautiful. Thank you so much. So you guys can catch the replay, and I'll tag Juliana for all of her beautiful followers that want to hear it. And yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you. Love you, girl. Hope to see you
Have an
soon.
amazing day. I know everybody's at your desk waiting for you to get off. So,
I'll look at them. Look at them.
she's yours now.
Say
Bye, guys.
peace out.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, love.